Okay, folks, welcome back to Hearthstone. I have a new hunter deck. I have created a new allegiance. This isn't for the alliance or for the horde. No. This is for the hunt. So this is not a new concept. It is trap hunter with beasts, essentially. Kind of takes advantage in a way of how the spell hunter used to work with the legendary bow. So as far as traps, what do we have? Well, bear trap and cat trap. These were two of the best opening. If you could coin either one of these out, that was a pretty good early game secret. So with Bear Trap, of course, you get a 3/3 bear with taunt. With Cat Trick, you get a 2/4 panther with stealth. Cat Trick works really well against net decks. Because a lot of net decks, unless they are... You don't really see too many face or kind of rush down decks. You do see a lot of control decks, which tend to rely very heavily on spells to some greater or lesser extent. 2 explosive traps, of course, just for a little bit of removal. In Wild, you will see a lot of low health minions, so explosive trap is rarely a bad thing to have. 1 rat trap, just 1, because it requires your opponent to play 3 cards in a turn, which doesn't always happen. Again, kind of depends on the deck. I've had this triggered early on, I've had this triggered late game, almost when I forgot that I've even played it. So, not a bad secret if you can get the 6/6 rat out of it, especially early game. Or even late game, when they have spent a lot of their removal to get rid of some of your other beasts. So, just 1 though. I couldn't justify putting 2 in because of the requires your opponent to play 3 cards effect. Wandering Monster. Now, admittedly, I don't particularly care for this card. I have kind of a love-hate relationship with this card. However, it will generally trade 1 for 1. So it will either damage your opponent's minion so that Explosive Trap can finish it, or something else you have can finish it, or it will just kill it outright. There's not actually a lot of good 3-cost minions, at least not that this seems to drop. So yeah, as I said though, it does more often than not trade 1 for 1, so depending where you are in the game, Explosive Trap is not guaranteed to kill anything necessarily, especially if they've been buffed, what have you. So yeah, what secrets didn't I put in? Dart Trap. Just because it's a bit of a random effect. It does 5 damage when your opponent uses their hero power, and that nowadays with Inspire and all the different ways you can modify your hero power is a very... You're not guaranteed any reliability that they're going to activate this. So the other thing is the 5 damage is random, so it may hit your opponent, it may hit one of their minions. So not a great card when I've played around with it. Freezing Trap. Freezing Trap is a really good card, however it is very situational. So Freezing Trap and Hidden Cache, a lot of my minions are through like Animal Companion, so that really doesn't make any sense. Misdirection. Again, misdirection is very situational. Snake trap summons 3 snakes. Okay, yeah, that's good, but then I really have no way of buffing them or anything. I don't use Scavenging Hyena in this deck or anything, so there's really not a lot of synergy with that. And Snipe. So Freezing Trap and Snipe, I generally pull with Secret Plan. This is a really good card kind of later game because you get to tailor a little bit what secrets you're pulling out. Sometimes a snipe works, sometimes a freezing trap. I think I've taken Venom Strike trap. There we go. Not a bad card, but a 2/3 with 2/3 poisonous. So it will kill anything that it runs into. It's just not great, in my opinion. And there's really nothing else that it synergizes with. So, in Wild, all these secrets put together, I've had some interesting games. So, and I think that's it for the secrets. I think so, yes. Yes, I believe so. So what else did we put in here? Well, as I said, Secret Plan lets you kind of tailor. It doesn't look like much. Discover a secret. You're like, oh, okay. So it's kind of a random chance. Yes, but think about with the Discover cards. Anytime a card has Discover on it, consider the pool of cards that it's pulling from. Or in some games, maybe it's worthwhile just to get another bear trap or cat trap, explosive, what have you. It gives you a little bit of control with what your opponent's deck is. So the secrets that I run in the deck are pretty good, generally speaking, regardless of what your opponent has. So Secret Trap just gives you a little bit more control in, as I said, tailoring your deck to go against your opponent's deck. One flare, just one, either to get rid of enemy secrets or just for card draw. The card draw is what makes this really good, because if you end up with it in your hand and you know your opponent's not going to have any secrets and they're not going to be able to get any through like a Thought Steal or something like that, you can go ahead and use this, get a card draw, get a card out of your hand that otherwise wouldn't have a use, and kind of turn it into something else. So I generally find running one is enough, both for the destroy all enemy secrets and draw a card effect. One's enough. Lock and Load, just for, I think I was trying to round out the deck a little bit. This is pretty much just for fun. There's really no strategic benefit to having this in here. It doesn't really, play a card, get a card, basically. So it's not necessarily reliable card draw per se, but it does limit you again to hunter cards. So I have used this a few times, admittedly, not very often, but a few times, and I've rarely had it be a drawback. So 2 animal companions, of course. Cloaked Huntress. Now, this is why I said this kind of works a little bit like the Spell Hunter deck does, because if you can get Cloaked Huntress out and you can get 2 or 3 secrets out, your secrets are basically doing most of the work, because they're summoning you minions, and they're doing damage, and I mean, whatever your opponent does, if they attack you, if they play a spell, if they flood the board, if they play, multiple spells, if a minion attacks you, what have you, just about anything your opponent's going to do, not to mention what you might get from Secret Plan, is going to do something. So a 3/4 for 3 is not terrible in and of itself. It'll trade. So some games I've played, I've had opponents that have killed this right off. And others, they've just kind of let it sit on the board like they didn't realize what it was, what it was. And I just was able to kind of steamroll, and yeah, things can get out of control very quickly. 2 deadly shots just to take care of any kind of annoying minions, maybe an effect, or if they're buff, taunts, what have you. 2 eagle horn bows, of course, to take advantage of the secrets. Why wouldn't we? This is... I find in decks where I run a lot of secrets, this works well just to keep going face, or to clear little minions off the board. So you're actually doing, if you can get the durability buffed up, you can actually do 5 damage per turn between this and your hero power. Flanking strike, just for a little bit of removal slash summons a 3/3 wolf. So not too bad. I generally don't like cards that have the restriction of damage to a minion, just in case you get to end game and that's all you have in your hand and your deck is running low. This works really well though, and at 4 cost, it's really good kind of going into the mid game. Can really help you to turn the tides of a game. Deathstalker Rexar. Admittedly, I've rarely had to use the actual hero power. I've actually used this more as kind of a explosive trap slash, 5 armor. There have been a few times I've used the hero power, but not as often as I would have thought. Lesser Emerald Soulstone, or Emerald Soulstone. This is by far the best of the Soulstones, without a doubt, because all you have to do is play 1 secret. So if you can flood the board with wolves, your opponent doesn't know what to do for sure. Turn 6 is pretty good as far as tempo is concerned. The only bad thing with these cards is if you end up playing a bunch of secrets and you don't draw either of these cards, which I have had happen in a few games. They just kind of sit there. It's so easy to buff up. I hate to play it just to summon 2. Summoning 2 3/3 wolves for 6 isn't great value for what the card can do. So want to try to get that buffed up as much as possible. Gladiator's Longbow, just for either a bit of removal or a bit of late game lethal. 5 damage is pretty good regardless. The immunity is pretty good for taking out bigger things, kind of working with explosive trap, flanking strike, what have you. So just 1. Again, I find running more than 1 becomes a problem because of the 7 mana cost. So Call of the Wild, of course, just for, again, a little bit of late game control slash if you need lethal damage, and then King Crush. Because why wouldn't we run King Crush? Can't have a respectable hunter deck without King Crush. So let's play a few games and see what happens. There we go. I find, even though none of these secrets are new, per se, I find that a lot of people don't know what to do against Hunter Secrets, or they don't know how to play around them.
Rexar versus Lunara.
The forest fights back.
Let the hunt begin.
So it's actually made playing some of these cards kind of fun again. That's actually a pretty good opening hand, so we'll just stay with that. That is one advantage to this deck, is the Hunter Secrets are all 2 mana costs. So this deck has a lot of really good early game or a lot of momentum late game because you can just throw out a lot of cards. So
Nature's blessings upon you.
you do have to wait for your opponent to trigger the secrets, which can be a problem some games. Generally, though, you have enough with Animal Companion, Flanking Strike to kind of move the game along, so...
To my side.
Job's done.
A lot of people don't like Animal Companion or have mixed feelings about Animal Companion because it's a random one out of 3. I think low-key's probably the one I tend to want the least. He trades. I will say that he does trade, so that's not terrible. Well, so far this druid is not doing much of anything, and his hand is getting quite full, so... There's my cat trap. Or cat trick, excuse me. And... yeah. Got a pretty good lead. Why would we not just not try to keep that? So...
Rotten to my core.
okay. Go ahead and run that in. We'll get healed, unfortunately, but let's just go ahead and flare. Yes. Bear trap. Okay, let's play it. Sweet. This is going really well, although to be fair, she hasn't really done much of anything. So.
Beetleberries, my favorite.
In Wild, I have noticed you do tend to run into quite a bit of nonsense with decks, so... A lot of the Hunter Secrets, your hero has to be attacked, so Misha actually ends up being a bit of a, okay, that's a 1-for-1. I was gonna say Misha actually ends up being a bit of a disadvantage. Hey, look at that, 4 damage. That actually worked out really well. I forgot to mention, it works out well if they have a hero power that they can attack like that. Although it rarely does happen, so. See, now I'm wondering, do I play this, get 3 wolves, or trying to think, Starfall will only do 2 damage per minion, so theoretically my wolves will have survived. Although if I can get one more secret out, I think we do it now. Try to flood the board. I have a feeling a lot of... I ran up against some decks in Wild that have a really weird, really strong late game, so I want to try to keep the pressure up, so why wouldn't we do this? If she has a Starfall, I'm going to lose 2 things, that's it, but that's fine. Do you have a taunt? You do. Okay. So I can't do both. No. That would do 4. No, let's use this. Yeah, let's save the bow because this will be somewhat of a needed trade. I'll think yeah.
Well played.
That was exact damage.
You can't win them all.
Well played.
Okay. Admittedly, I don't feel entirely good about that because she really didn't do much. A win is a win, I suppose. You did get to see this deck does have a lot of synergy. Although that is the nature of hunter cards.
Rexa
One might argue.
I will fight with honor. Let the hunt begin.
This is not a great hand. Do we keep flanking strike? Let's just send everything back and see what we get. I may end up regretting it, but let's, yeah. We have enough low-cost cards, it's kind of worth mulligan. Yeah, that's better. That is much better. Okay. Yeah, all the hunter cards work pretty well together, except for like the mech cards for some reason. Because they're mechs, they're not beasts, so they don't really synergize with any of the beast.
Truth is found in death.
I guess you could say archetype. Do I want to take a chance and play this, or do I want to... Let's hero power and play the turret. Some people would say this isn't great. I mean, this will do 4 damage, 2 to the minion, 2 to him. For 2 costs, that's not terrible. I would really like a eagle horn bow, though. Yeah. Well, we've got 2 items. Let's play them and see. Okay, well that kind of works. Let's go ahead and kill this, just for a little bit of control. If he runs that in, so be it. We've killed 2/2, or maybe that was a misplay. Maybe I should have went face. No, it wouldn't matter. Okay. Yeah. So... do I play another one? I think we play the other one.
To my side.
Okay. And hope he doesn't have a concentration. Cat trick would have been better if he had a concentration. No? Yeah, no concentration. Concentration. I will learn to talk eventually. There we go. Okay, well now... I don't know that it was going to matter, so now let's play that. This is a bit of a strange game, but we're on turn 5 and we've already taken away about 1/3 of his health, so...
For the Lich King!
Okay, so Secret Plan could be good here. Let's see. Freezing Trap would be good. And we get a Freezing Trap. Yeah, I think that's probably the best thing here, so... Let's do that. We'll go face. That is a 5 cost that's about to become a 7 cost, which some people may argue Spectral Knight is worth. Would still be worth it as a 7 cost? I don't know about that. Oh, that is indeed it. Okay. Well, I mean, I've got Gladiator's Bow, which could answer that, so I'm thinking. Because what I'm thinking is if I Rexar to break the shield, run Huffer in, that'll take him down to 5. I can use Gladiator's Bow next turn. Or alternatively, I could play Explosive Trap, wait and see what he does. Explosive Trap will break this. But if he goes after Huffer instead of going face, because this will only... Explosive Trap will only trigger if your hero is attacked. Yeah, I guess let's do that, because I hate to waste Rexar's effects. Either way, the shield is getting popped. It's just a matter of I'll just be short like 1 damage depending. So I've got a flare if he tries to play secret to buff it. Ah, well there's that. So yeah, flare ended up being probably the better of the two. Okay.
Reporting for duty.
He's more worried about buffing his minions than he is about... Alright. Which, that was really kind of weird, because he could have, they both are magnetic. So he could have combined those, unless he was afraid of losing one or both. So, unfortunately, Gladiator's Bow is the only thing we get to do that turn. He is down to 12 health. So... And I do have King Crush next turn. Need to get 2 damage for that. Okay, that's not really going to help me, but let's play it to get another card. Is it... When you cast a spell, why did I think it was a... Okay, never mind. I want to say Flare, let's just do 2 damage, down to 10, let's get him in King Crush range. I want him to do 2 more damage to that so I can use my bow on the taunt and then throw out King Crush. So, yes, okay, I think we've won. I think, unless he has a mech to buff this, damn it! That is annoying. Okay, well, that's a bit bizarre. Am I dead? Oh, I'm dead. He's killed me. GG. Oh, that is absolutely... Yeah. Alright. And that is not even the most annoying that decks can get. That was pretty much That was pretty much a rush down as we climbed in mana. There's far more decks that get more annoying than that.
Rexar versus Rexar! Let the hunt begin. Bring it on!
Trying to think if I wasn't paying attention that I missed lethal somewhere, but no, he had the other max, so. I kept waiting for a
The legions I command.
Job's done.
we can't do anything this turn.
Greetings, traveler. Hail!
Kept waiting for a is it death shot? My mind is blanking. Deadly shot. There we go. How could I have forgotten that? Okay. Huffer's not great, but the board is empty, so I prefer to get Huffer. Huffer's like the one thing most people don't want. I think with the decks I tend to make, I think Huffer works about the best. So Huffer or Misha, it's a bit of a toss up. I'm not going to argue with being able to do 4 damage early on. However, he does die fairly easy, so easily. And
Tonight, a tale of glorious redemption.
And you had a Sneed, so. I think we just leave him alone and go Faith, honestly.
Job's done.
This is a really weird legendary because I get the idea that it was meant to like give you an advantage like he is here with Sneed. Most likely he won't be able to play anything. This Sneed drops him this early on.
To my side.
I mean, there's a chance, but most likely. This really can hurt you though because it gives away what your deck is. I have no idea what this deck is because it's that. That's Nat Pagel, so congratulations with that. Does wait. Does oh, I think I missed something here. Summon. Oh, summon a legendary minion. Why was I thinking that it... Is this what I want to do? Yeah.
To my side.
Not overly concerned about. Yeah. Take a look. And of course he draws a card. For some reason I was thinking it's put a minion in your hand. So either way, it's still probably better just to leave it.
This one turned out nicely.
Ah, okay. Well... whatever. Yeah, I think we need to take a shot. One would be at this point in time, either one would be good, so...
Job's done.
Of course. You know, I was like, they nerfed this, it's fine. I don't think I need to do anything, but he might mill himself, so... I should probably kill him. I have Eco Gladiator's bow. Yeah. Okay, well that didn't entirely make a whole lot of sense. Play one more card. Play one more card. Oh, he's out of mana. One more card, and I'll get a giant rat. Actually, no. You know what? I'm going to run him in there, and I'm going to play my wolves.
Job's done.
Yeah. Let's try to get this over with. And if he spends a bunch of cards to remove this, we've got Rat Trap, we've got Wandering Monster. Yeah. Yeah.
I wonder.
Well, that has to die immediately. I'm not leaving a Tundra Rhino on the board. No, no, no. This is not my first game. I guess this is probably a good way to... Is there any way I have lethal this turn? No. So I'm going to play this.
Hunt alone.
Cool. I don't have any kill commands in this deck, which is disappointing.
Well fought. I concede. Well.
Well, I'm not sure what that deck was, but he lost spectacularly, so. I was a little worried leaving when he started to draw from that Peggle. I was a little
Rexa versus Rexa.
concerned,
Let the hunt
and
Bring it on.
because as I said, I've been running into a lot of decks that have like a really strange late game. So I started to think after the fact, maybe I was letting him draw the pieces that he needed for something, but he didn't seem to have any rhyme or reason to that deck, so. This deck seems to shut down most other decks fairly well, fairly quickly, so. I mean, I suppose Hunter cards are just really good on their own. I have no illusions that it's like some kind of I've figured out some great combination or something like that. That's probably fine. We can't really. The part I find interesting and the part I've been having fun with is you're getting to use cards in a combination that you've never got to use them in before. So I'm pretty sure when Bear Trap and or Cat Trap came out, we had standard play by that point. So I don't think you were ever able to use them together, or maybe if you were, it was briefly. It was very, very briefly. Yeah, let's throw this out.
Come, midnight.
He's got a weapon and a minion on the board, and I'm waiting to see what he does with the hyena. So I can react quicker, I think, this way. Okay. Why? I really need an explosive trap.
To my side.
Job's done.
Well, as I said, I mean, he will trade with something, so it's not great, but it's not terrible.
Talk about a nice suit.
Oh, that's not good. Oh, and that's even worse. Well,
Job's done.
okay. Okay, let's enter the canyon. Trap. Keep the pressure up, I think would be good here.
To my side.
Okay. Sadly, I don't think that's going to hit very much, but by all means.
I let the dogs out.
Okay, well now it might. I may have lost. And did I? Yeah, I think that's...
Well taught. I can see.
Now that was just a little bit of nonsense right there. So close. I don't mind when you can kind of win some, lose some. I think that's one of the things that I found enjoyable with this deck.
Jaina!
You asked for it.
Let the hunt begin.
I think, generally speaking, for the most part, I might normally keep Blanking Strike. I have so many other things I could play earlier on. Yeah, that's pretty good opening hand right there. I think that's one of the... I think that's one of the things with this deck is that most of the cards I think are pretty good on their own, so it's just a matter of each game kind of what combination you draw the cards in. And more often than not, I think I manage to win. I think I just slightly win more than I lose. I mean, I was climbing rank a little bit with this deck, which doesn't always happen with every deck. So, okay, let's go face.
Job's done.
So it's not a.
You want to cast a spell?
Not
I
a.
want to cast a spell.
I can't think of card names.
Out of my jungle!
Um, Thinking it's either going to be a. Okay, I'm going to sacrifice. Okay. I've already got one of these out, so I'm going to take a Venom Strike. We'll take a chance. Okay, I have no idea what that secret is then, because it didn't counter a spell, it didn't counter my minion, it didn't counter my attack. So it's got to be an ice block. This is a little early game to be playing an ice block. Very well could be an ice block. Okay, got torch. Okay.
Calm down! I'm a doctor!
Ooh.
The end!
Cool. Unfortunately, we don't get the poisonous effect from.
Time runs out on me.
Okay.
Everyone panic!
Okay, I'm all but convinced that is a free that is a nice block. Because I honestly don't know what else it could be. Bear trap seems good. Do I already have a bear trap out? Dang it. Okay, that's fine. I mean, I was kind of worried when she started to play the legendary quest, but turned 6 and she hasn't done anything, so. Icicle? Okay. Fair enough, fair enough. You know, I rarely ever get to use Brave Archer's effect. We might actually get there.
Everyone panic!
I hunt alone.
That's my turn. So if she doesn't do something... Mages are tricky in wild, so... She could bounce back with 11 health.
We're gonna be rich.
Case in point. Any other class, I would have said GG right then. But, okay, well, we're not going through that nonsense again, so... Ah! It was a duplicate! Damn it! Ah! Can we even win at this point? I almost have a notion to concede, because I just don't even know.
Everyone panic!
Yeah, I'm just not even gonna waste my time with that.
Fought. I concede.
My magic will tear you apart.
Yeah, you really didn't do anything! That was basically like some kind of weird fatigue mage, so that may have been premature, but thinking about it, no, it really wasn't, because every time I would have just went through my deck, she would have just kept throwing those down, re-healing herself. I've seen I deadly shot at it because I've seen decks where they will throw like
Rexar!
brewmasters and things in to bounce it back
Your
to their
soul
hand
shall
to
be
play it
mine.
and things like
Let
that.
the hunt begin.
One way or another, it seemed like her deck was set up so that duplicate would have triggered with that. So I don't think there was really much of a way to play around it. I was thinking I was thinking, I admittedly I didn't think of like duplicate. I was thinking it had some interaction with the minion, but I was thinking more like effigy or something more along those lines. You so rarely see any of like the older secrets because everybody wants to play like some version of a net deck. So you get so used to seeing the same cards
Come midnight.
that I honestly didn't even think about it. So, but that is kind of a good example of some of the decks I've been running into that just they have these weird just designs. And I've tried to be stubborn and say, oh, I can
Such easy
beat
sport.
that. And,
Job's done.
you can try. Whether you succeed or fail, that is an entirely different matter. So. Okay. Well, that's interesting. I might Rexar.
All will serve!
Yeah, Rexar wouldn't be terrible. I think we're gonna need some control here. Although, if I kill his Voidwalker... Actually, before we Rexar... Because I don't want to kill the Void Terror. Void Caller. Eventually I will learn this name. It's like Voidwalker's not right. Because I'm afraid he'll have a Melganis in his hand, but he might get it out anyway with the weapon. So, since we have a taunt, let's just try to get our wolves out here. He's already lost half his health. Okay, that's not terrible. Now it's just a matter of, do I want to deadly shots? Okay. Well, that kind of made it for me. And he had no minion in his hand. Okay. Okay. So, let's think about how we want to do this. So... Okay, I'm thinking we sacrifice 2 of them. Damn it. And then...
I hunt alone.
Got a King Crush. I think that was the most efficient way of doing that. trying to decide if it would have mattered. Right, loud. The one thing I do find annoying is when I play against constant, like, taunt decks. It's like, play an original concept, would you please? Okay, we'll just try to...
Come, midnight.
Yeah. I still see a path to victory, so... Okay. You don't seem to understand exactly what you... Okay. Never mind. Damn it! I should have. Yeah. Well, okay. Let's do this. I think it may have still worked out. I wanted the taunt. If he gets through the taunt, he still has to face an explosive trap. So. Perfect! And if I remember correctly, those send cards to his hand. Yes. Perfect. That was a misplay. He just lost the game.
Well, you win.
I think he realized what he did. Yeah. Well played, dude. Yeah, I believe those cards work similar to the Phoenix that mages have. I think it just kept like getting stronger each time it was killed. So, yeah. So there you go, folks. There is the deck I call for the hunt. Not a bad little hunter deck, if I do say so. So, been having quite a bit of fun with that in Wild. So, hope you enjoyed that, and thank you for watching.